Well, hello, Chris. How you doing today?
Fantastic. How about you, David?
I'm doing wonderful. I feel the springtime. I'm feeling a lot of this kickstart energy.
Yeah, well, people north of me got like a foot of snow last night up in Minnesota. So spring is still on the horizon for a lot of people in northern climes. But down here, we're getting rain, and this Aries energy is just kicking ass. It's really cool.
Wow, over here, yesterday it was 75, and then at about 5 p.m. it went up to 89. Like a big high pressure system of just hot air just came in. So everybody was having a nice day, and then it got so hot nobody knew what to do. It was 90 degrees when I went to dinner last night. I was like, oh my gosh, it was so hot.
Wow, that is weird.
Yeah.
For any place along the Pacific Ocean, the Pacific gives us that cool Japanese current, and that keeps things nice and mellow. So we're starting
Well,
out.
things kind of switch quick here from mellow to even more hot, I would say. Here on Friday, it's just like the last day of Mercury in Pisces and Pluto going retrograde. I mean,
Yeah, plus all this activity concentrated in Aries. We've got that Mars Venus Sun conjunction in Aries, and it's advancing really nicely, moving away from that Uranian energy, which is always good. We don't need those surprises coming in. But yeah, everybody that is receptive and has opened their consciousness to this new energy, I would assume that they are just rocking with the times.
yeah, this is really feeling it out here on Friday. I mean, Moon and Taurus stabilizing all the new energy. I feel that whenever the moon comes into Taurus, we're able to really feel it out in a good way. We physically feel the world. We really start to understand and have a good connection with the reality and where it's taken us. I feel we've all been kind of thrown into the new karma, into the new road, into the new self. And Friday is so powerful because Pluto goes retrograde. I mean, Pluto has been direct for 6 months. That's one thing about Pluto is such long transits with Pluto. And Pluto has finally made it through the first whole part of Capricorn. It's made it 1/3 through. And here it is going to go backwards and hit that last place one more time, go back to 9 degrees. So there's a lot to review. There's been so many changes that we've had in our lives. And this is really where I feel karma has come in. Like whenever the Pluto goes retrograde, karma comes in big time. So up until today, things kind of changed, but I really feel that Friday is the day that people really are in the new world.
Absolutely, yeah. And with Pluto, since it is a strong generational planet, it takes each section of our population and applies it. Like right now, Pluto is in conjunct my natal Pluto, which is in Leo. The people who have Pluto in Virgo and Pluto in Scorpio, they're getting a strong jolt of positive energy. And as it, like you said, as it starts to retrograde back, it's going to be that final review. And then over the next few years, it's going to hit the natal sun opposition point. And the United States is going to have to get its act together once and for all.
It is. And with Pluto, this is looking at that Capricorn energy, that structure. And I look at it in our own lives. This is the structure of your life, how it holds up together, the bones of your life, the fabric that holds the skyscraper together. Like in your life, it has crumbled in some way, but it also is being rebuilt to be a stronger building. And in every part of your life, you have to look and see what has fallen and what is being rebuilt. And this is going to review the new changes you've made to the structure of your life and test them in a way. Test and see if, Pluto has to come in and kill any last things. Pluto comes in and says, no more sorry. Pluto is the place that just comes through and kills it all. So Pluto retrograde, you feel those. Anytime, those are the most karmic points in your life. I've looked at every Pluto retrograde and I'm like, oh my gosh. It's actually when I started my horoscope last year was Pluto retrograde. And so it always comes around the same time. It's so weird because they're so perfect. Like last year it came on April 10th. Here it is on April 12th. I mean, it's that close. you know?
Yeah, yeah, and again, there's that sense of a higher function going on. There is a higher consciousness somehow directing all of these activities and orchestrating this ballet. The other thing that's really interesting right now is as Pluto starts to retrograde, we've already got Saturn moving backwards now. And so they're going to be in that nice tight sextile doing a little bit of a dance backwards. And that's going to be very interesting because Saturn is going to give us understanding as to why Pluto is having its effect on us.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's important because the energy is about to shift heavily as we leave the Aries. We're getting ready for some Taurus energy. I mean, just this weekend alone, Mercury leaves Pisces and comes into Aries, and Mercury's been in Pisces for a month and a half. So this is going to really excite so much and really give a lot of clarity as to why you're in this new place in your life, like this new you, this new direction. Like, we've been kind of trying to just figure the spiritual energy out, and we're really good at following the signs and going with the flow. We understand how to go with the flow. Now we need to understand how to courageously accept this new path and charge forward with it.
Absolutely, yeah. And in addition to that, we're going to have Uranus creeping up, or Mercury creeping up on Uranus. And so if we are not paying attention to what's going on, there could be some very explosive events, especially on the level of communication, where people show up on your doorstep and say, damn it, I want you to answer my email, or you need to answer the phone, or whatever. So there's some edgy energy with this too, and again, it's forcing us to be mindful of the daily activities of our lives.
And it's really giving us epiphany energy, like, oh my gosh, crazy understandings of what we're here to do, like out of nowhere, just lightning bolt energy. It only comes around, not that often. So this can be really exciting, but I think you made a good point. I mean, yeah, I'm even feeling it in my own life. There's people that need to get back to me straight up right now. So it kind of, especially in Aries, forces it to be right now. Like, one thing about this time period is we all want things now. We want it to move forward. And Venus, comes into Taurus at the beginning of this week. I mean, it literally just, we're going to really start to feel this Taurus shift. And this is also lining up for that big solar eclipse, which is happening in less than a month in Taurus. So we're going to start switching gears here into really starting to materialize this new path, start to understand some value systems in ourselves. And Venus in Taurus is wonderful placement because Venus is naturally home in Taurus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Venus luxuriates in Taurus.
Yep.
Well, the cards for the current cycle here is keep your eye on that Earth energy as we advance into Taurus. So the rest of this week is going to be this burn off. All of the stuff in Aries is going to just create like a wildfire. It's going to move rapidly, and then we're going to land in that Taurus energy. And at the same time, good old Mercury is in flight here. This is the Knight of Swords. So communication is really going to advance now. If you've been feeling like your communication has been bogged down, people haven't been responding to you, now you're going to have to sit down and answer 15 emails an hour for a while here just to get caught up.
I could totally feel that energy. And I think it's interesting to see that Knight of Pentacles come up because that is the nice slow trot. But it's funny that our mind, though, is not ready to. So it's almost like reality starts to slow down, but inside we are burning. We are still up. There is still so much happening around us in our close environment. That's one funny thing about Mercury is it rules our close environment. So, our neighbors, our friends, our circle, our brother, our sister, like things are just like zapping in our close environment as we are stepping into the new path. But on a longer scale, we're starting to see, especially as Mars is going to come and follow all this Taurus energy by the end of the week and so forth, like things are really moving into this. I think the Knight of Pentacles shows the perfect way of a nice soft trot and to really let you start to feel where you're going. And remember that the tortoise wins the race, like not the rabbit. The rabbit can get you going, but don't keep that going the whole time. Like, understand what's worthwhile in your life. Start to feel things out.
Right, and we do have Venus beginning to oppose Saturn as it advances into Taurus. And so we're going to be, again, getting some lessons about what we place our value in, because Venus is all about those Venusian values. What do we cherish? What do we hold dear? And so we're going to have to reconcile our value system a little bit as this very rapid passage of Venus opposing Saturn and interacting once again with Pluto. So it's a dynamic week ahead for all of us.
And the Sun and Mars conjunct this week too, near the end of the week, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it starts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but midweek we are in that go time. So I think it's really funny. And Mercury is on Uranus while we have the Sun and Mars together. So this can be radically, like, it's the final push. I'd call this the final push this week, because then afterwards, especially now that Pluto is retrograding, a lot of the crazy changes I think led up to Friday that you're watching this. But after this is the last push into this all. And then as Pluto really starts to retrograde, and as a lot of other planets are going to start going retrograde here, like Neptune's getting ready here in a couple months, Uranus is going to get ready. Like, things are starting to really push you in the right direction. But this is the last oomph in a hard way, I'd say, from the universe. This is the last, like, sixth gear pop, Oh,
yeah. Plus, in relationship to everything else that's going on, we're going to have Venus, the moon is going to be moving into Gemini, and so we're going to have that beautiful conjunction of the moon Jupiter. Mm-hmm. And that's causing us to look to the future, because before long, Jupiter will, as we move into Cancer time, move into the sign of Cancer. And so that's going to shift a lot of our perceptions and our values. We've learned a lot through Jupiter's expansion in Gemini. Now we're going to bring it home. We're going to put it in the ground. We're going to plant it.
Yeah, and it's funny because Jupiter this whole week, up until the end of the week, is at the exact spot of the Venus eclipse that happened in June 5th of 2012. The Venus eclipse happened at 14 degrees Gemini, and the Venus retrograde also was in this period, and Jupiter's highlighting a lot of that Venus eclipse. And I think it's important to see how much fate has been in this period that we've been in, as we had all the odds the last couple of weeks, as we had this really powerful conjunction, as we had this really powerful new moon. I mean, the events that unfolded here in the last 3 weeks, and as this final week push, I would say that this final week push is chopping up one of the biggest fated energies that you could ever have into the new push into your life, the relationships that you've been built with, the new values of new self, the new road that you're ready to go conquer. It was all fated. It was all part of the plan that you had. And this is the last execution of a lot of plans that I feel the universe has given you.
Well, and I think you also are very on point here with the fact that you are the one who's orchestrated all this stuff in your life. So don't run around whining and blaming everybody else and, join my pity party because I'm a victim. Because if you have that perception that you are not the one who has created this, then you will become the victim. And look at that. By the end of next week, you will be working on trying to release the past. A lot of sorrow will come to the surface if you are not working on your higher evolutionary themes here. So it's all about you. It's not about the stars, really. The stars are a reflection of all of us. And we have to take responsibility for our activities and for our intention and for our day-to-day thoughts.
Yeah, and this all really does come down to, as we end the week, the moon comes into Leo, and I think that that's a signal as well to it's within your own heart, because we end the final push with the moon in Leo, like the moon and Mars conjunct and following each other into Taurus together, right? So we leave this like powerful bang energy with the moon in Leo going to trine it about it's all in your own heart, it's all in your own self. And so there's a lot of fire around, and fire is courage, fire is strength, fire is what beats your heart, fire is what moves your legs, fire is what gets you going, and you got to find that passion in yourself. You got to light it up.
Oh, absolutely. And don't forget, fire needs fuel. So you got to make sure that you're giving your body and your consciousness the fuel to sustain the fire so that you don't become consumed by all of this energy. So, yeah, radical week ahead.
It is. I thank you so much for doing this. I love doing this show with you, man.
Yeah, this has been totally awesome. And I think people need to communicate more about what we're doing here. The more people we can share these thoughts with, the more we'll see everybody living a little bit more harmoniously and enjoying their lives a little bit more.
I completely agree. So I'll definitely be getting it out. I know you will be. And if you're out there and you want to help us out, please help us out as well. So thanks so much, Chris, and I will see you next week.
Absolutely. You have a fantastic week, David.
All right, buddy.
Love you.